Going on, everybody? Welcome back to Steelers Breakdown Podcast. Nick Farabaugh here with you guys. We are here talking after the first day of the Steelers' padded practices today. We were supposed to have that yesterday. Obviously, the storms pushed things back, so we got those today. We got the backs on backers, the wide receiver DB one-on-ones, the O-line D-line one-on-ones, team run, all of that great stuff. So the Steelers today did the whole 9 yards, and so let's talk about what we learned. I think these padded practices obviously matter more. They still don't matter more than preseason games, but they matter more than non-padded practices. The offense today just continues to be what I would call disjointed. Guys not on the same page, guys that are still trying to figure out their roles within a new offense. It's not a new offense for a lot of these guys, but it is in the same way because they're definitely doing a lot of new things. For example, we saw four tight end set today. We just saw a lot of different things. Um, so really, the Steelers are kind of going at it and saying, let's kind of roll the ball out there for some of these guys. For example, Roman Wilson. Roll the ball out for him, have him play outside, have him play inside, and let him do a little bit of everything. That's what I think is kind of the most important thing is let's see what we have. Same thing with Juan Thornhill, Chuck Clark. The Steelers are trying to figure out what they got. And that is kind of the proving ground right now. And if they think that they need somebody at wide receiver, need someone at safety, need someone along the depth on the offensive line, et cetera, they will find out. They are letting the guys they have here right now prove themselves. Bobby Tree's got a chance today. He was with the first team, not Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson has best day with the second team today. He looked pretty good. He made two or three nice catches on crosses over the middle. Much more of a natural role for him than playing outside. So that's not surprising to me that he naturally had a better day. But Bobby Trees also was able to kind of get going in team run. And he's obviously a nice blocker. Had a little tussle today with JPJ. So this offense is figuring itself out. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers are still trying to work out their chemistry. There was a drift route today where he just didn't flatten it enough for Rodgers and it clanged slightly off his fingertips. That's something that I think you need to look at, the kind of body language and learning what Aaron likes and all of that. So it's very important to understanding quarterback wide receiver connection. You also look at Jonnu Smith, same thing. Even on screenplays, it feels like these guys aren't on the same page. And then in team run, they just got pulverized. The O line had a few nice reps. I thought Troy Falzano had two nice kickouts, one of which allowed Jalen Warren to scamper for about 15, 20 yards untouched on his wide zone play. Um, but not a lot of great plays for that. The O line, D line one on ones were much more favorable. And one guy on offense I thought really that did have a good day today was Troy Falzano. He had two really decisive wins against TJ Watt in the O line, D line one on ones. Watt tried to hit him with a bull rush on one. He got anchored down on him. And then the next one, he tried to get him with his rip and dip, and he ran right around the bend in the arc. So, really good wins there for Troy Faltano. I think he's looking good. Still not completely confident in the knee. He told us that today, but I really like where he's at. I think he's going to be a good player for this team. The defense, though, is where this storyline kind of takes place. I mean, they did lose seven shots, so there is that. But the first team secondary continues just to ball out. And today it was Joe Porter Jr. You want to talk about a guy that tackled today. No one tackled better today than Joey Porter Jr. He was everywhere. In the first team run period, he had three stops on his own. And the first ones, it were back-to-back plays. He snuffed Jalen Warren for a loss and then got Caleb Johnson just boom right off the edge. So really good for him. He then had a PBU on a slant route intended for Roman Wilson. We had another PBU in the wide receiver DB one-on-ones against DK Metcalf. This guy's very under the radar, putting together a fantastic training camp. And I think that is a good sign for the Steelers. They want this to be a three-head monster, not a two-head monster. Jalen Ramsey's going to be great. You think you know what you got in Deshaun Elliott. You think you know what you got in Darius Slay. JPJ was really good his rookie year. and had a little bit more of a down second year. He looks like he's motivated this year, and he's off to a really good start. I think that is very encouraging for Pittsburgh if Joey Porter Jr. is able to take that leap into true stardom. They could really have a great secondary if that happens. So he was great. Nick Herbig today, dominant. Maybe it's because Brian Baldinger was there, and we know how Baldy loves Nick Herbig. But this guy was all over the backfield today. He pulled out a huge spin move on Calvin Anderson in one of the team reps. He was flying off the edge. He was just around the football consistently. And sometimes he didn't even beat anybody. Sometimes it was just him kind of using his IQ and they are moving him around a little bit. And he's kind of over the A gap and using his quickness to kind of get around. And so he was so good today. And the O-line, D-line one-on-ones, the offensive line, the tackles kind of held up, you know. I thought that was really good to see Dylan Cook and Calvin Anderson hold up. Broderick didn't participate in those. He's got a little bit of a soft tissue. I think it's a groin issue specifically. So that was something that was noticeable with Nick Herbig. He had a really good day. And the other guy who was just a heat-seeking missile in terms of every single way that he could be was Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson was all over the place. Sometimes he's like a radar that doesn't necessarily know where he's going and hits the wrong guy because sometimes he blows up the guard when you don't need to blow up the guard. Not today. He was all over the place in backs on backers, bulldozed Evan Hall. Peyton Wilson also did a similar thing where he just forklifted Kenny Gainwell into the dirt. So that was something to note too. So those are kind of the standouts from today. Some kind of other notes that maybe aren't player related. Lots of double A gap mug looks for the Steelers defense. I'm not surprised they have double A gap mug looks. They are blitzing them sometimes. They are dropping them out. Their inside linebacker blitzes are finally in. PQ looks extremely excited about them when he gets to feign if he's coming or not. It just fits them more naturally. They are an aggressive linebacking core. It's what Patrick Queen does really well. It feels more natural for everybody involved there. And so that's a nice way to throw a wrinkle in. And it's not just the double A gap mugs. You sometimes have Watt and Highsmith and Herbig popping in, switching sides, doing some things up front, and then you got the moving pictures on the back end. So that's something that I really like. There's a different kind of flavor to the defense and what they're doing schematically. So that's something that they've added recently. Caleb Johnson in pass pro is going to be a work in progress, and you could tell he's willing, he wants, he has the frame, but he is still so rough around the edges. This was a guy that when you watched him today against Malik Harrison, it just felt like he was fighting upstream. He got dogged on all three reps. The last two, he just really got bulldozed straight through his chest by Malik Harrison. And so this guy has got a lot of work to do. And the Steelers have been working with him diligently. Jaylen Warren's been working with him diligently. Everything is kind of coming together and they're trying to help him out. So it's going to take probably some time for everything to work. But note that it is in work and he is struggling at least to start. So that is certainly something to note. But the energy out here, it's palpable. It feels a little different. And the Steelers really wanted to hit today. I could tell it was a physical practice in between the trenches. They got after it in a way that I haven't seen them get after it very often before in these padded practices, but I think the pent up energy from yesterday where they thought they were going to get the hit and then didn't get the hit was kind of focused back in today. So certainly something I think the Steelers really felt and kind of released, and you felt the energy when you were there. All right, folks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will be back tomorrow.